The new season of Grey's Anatomy, which premiered yesterday with the gripping "Only the Strong Survive" episode, is undoubtedly not going well at Grey Sloan Memorial. The death of Dr. Monica Beltran, who perished after being crushed in an equipment fall brought on by the explosion from the season 21 finale, was emphasized in the opening episode. As a result, Amelia Shepherd is depressed, which leads to a well-known character who viewers haven't seen on the medical drama since last year stepping in to help. Maggie Pierce, played by Kelly McCreary, will return in the second episode of Grey's Anatomy Season 22 next Thursday. A sneak look of her reappearance recently hinted that she would be helping Meredith tend to the bereaved Amelia. As devoted viewers of Grey's Anatomy may remember, McCreary initially departed the program in Season 19 following 9 seasons. She also made a brief appearance in the Season 20 finale on May 30, 2024, to sign divorce papers with Winston Dugu, her ex-husband. The 450th episode of Grey's Anatomy, titled "We Built This City," reads as follows: the team at Grey Sloan navigating a chaotic first day of surgical rotations amid hospital renovations. Meredith spends time with Amelia in the interim. Regarding the hectic day, the latest teaser also reveals that Atticus, Lincoln is still not fully recovered from the almost deadly injuries he received in the explosion. Meanwhile, a patient is shown coping with a forklift that punctured his abdomen in another untidy episode of the day. As showrunner Meg Marinis recently hinted that viewers should anticipate seeing some familiar faces in Season 22 of Grey's Anatomy, Maggie's homecoming is the first of many to come. It's important to note that the ambiguity surrounding her ex-boyfriend Dugu's possible future with Jules Millen coincides with her return. Jules raced into Dugu's arms when Monica passed away after helping Jules through surgery following the explosion, indicating that there may now be an opportunity for them to act on their chemistry and start a relationship. Up until now, the two have had a very "will they or won't they" kind of connection. Naturally, viewers will have to wait to learn what their future holds and how Maggie's reappearance may impact them. Over the course of the episode, events took unexpected turns, ultimately revealing the destiny of Grey Sloan Memorial's finest. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 began with the aftermath of the catastrophic explosion that left the fate of several characters in doubt. Even if viewers weren't certain that the explosion would have a significant impact, Grey's Anatomy Season 22 made sure that everything would change following the debut hour. It was evident throughout Season 21 of Grey's Anatomy that certain changes would be occurring in between seasons. Some of the doctors that viewers of Grey's Anatomy have grown to know and love over the past few years weren't sure whether they would be returning to the show, at least not for the duration, given the influx of new trainees. Some, like longtime cast member Richard Webber, weren't necessarily in the clear, even though others had seemed to be safe. Grey's Anatomy has always been strong at recovering from major accidents, and the season opener was no exception. One character's destiny was ultimately revealed by the explosion's severe fallout, but there are still unanswered issues. Meredith Grey was still safely outside the hospital when Grey's Anatomy Season 22 premiered, but it soon became evident that she was one of the few people who were not affected by the mayhem that broke out within Grey Sloan Memorial. Things soon became depressing when viewers had the opportunity to examine the various hospital rooms. Ben Warren swiftly looked for Miranda Bailey and assured everyone that she was not in danger, but it later came to light that Dr. Atticus, Lincoln was among the individuals injured in the explosion. Link was evaluated promptly due to severe crush injuries, but it was clear that he would be a critical case. Link's injuries appeared to be extremely serious when he was taken off the operating room floor, even though the crew managed to remove him from the stone that was crushing his chest. Link started bleeding more heavily as Bailey, Ben, and Owen Hunt started the trip down the hospital stairs, necessitating far more urgent attention than was previously required. After eventually contacting Joe Wilson, who was assigned to the emergency department with Webber while he was examined for a head injury, Link flatlined. Webber tried his best to comfort Wilson while they waited for his co-workers to work on one of their own, but Wilson was left in agony while they waited for news. Amelia Shepherd, who struggled to deal with the notion that she believed she had contributed to the explosion in some way, was forcibly removed from the hospital when she attempted to enter the operating room because she was too distraught. In the end, the Grey Sloan surgeons managed to identify the cause of Link's hemorrhage and stabilize him. No one was safe following the explosion, as evidenced by the fact that Jules Millen and Monica Beltran were also trapped on the operating room floor. Beltran was trapped beneath the column of a huge overhead lamp, making it obvious that her life would be in jeopardy, while Millen managed to stabilize the patient following the blast. The 6-year-old kid that Millen and Beltran were caring for became increasingly complex as the episode went on, and Millen was left to handle things alone while Beltran provided assistance from where she was. Beltran tried her hardest to keep Millen calm despite her obvious anguish and her obvious awareness of the extent of her injuries. It became evident that Beltran was aware of her poor health as Millen continued the surgery. Beltran passed out behind the operating room table as Millen closed the wound and completed the procedure. She had already passed away from her explosion-related wounds by the time Millen tested her pulse. Another significant piece of the puzzle of the Grey Sloan Memorial was lost by Grey's Anatomy. Thanks for watching. For more updates stay tuned and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, please.